Alright, so in today's video, I got the Platinum Trophy on Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This is the most recent Tomb Raider game, and if you don't know what Tomb Raider is, I feel deeply sorry for your loss. But the game has a whopping total of 64 trophies, including the Platinum, and an insane amount of collectibles inside of it, while also having numerous difficulty trophies, and it's advised to do 2 playthroughs for those. Not required, but heavily advised. Anyways, this is also a part of a challenge I've been doing, trying to Platinum over 100 games suggested by viewers of the channel. And if I can't complete all of these before hitting 850,000 subscribers, then I have to shave my head and look like a base character from a video game. So drop a like and subscribe. Stage 1 to getting this Platinum done is just play through the story and get all of the missable trophies. This involves playing on the easiest difficulty and going after every single collectible. There's over 400 of them, by the way, which, I can't take this anymore. Anyways, aside from the collectible trophies, there is also a ton of missable combat trophies included because enemies do not respawn after you beat the story. And this game's open world begins to resemble my DMs once completed. Just empty as shit. But the game first opens with Laura and her friend on a plane as we watch it crash in glory. However, that was 2 days in the future, so it rewinds us to the living and we see Laura again in a perilous situation. She is stuck in a cave and has to claw her way out after somehow getting down there. After climbing out, we then got to take control and do some parkour, which this game's parkour, no comment. But you reach a treasure tomb almost right away and our boy is also here. However, Laura, being the greedy gal she is, wasn't paying full attention to her surroundings and just smashes her foot onto this button right here, which triggers an explosion. And the entire place begins to blow up with her still snapping photos for the gram. Woman will be woman, I guess. The team then laughed about how they almost died with no remorse for the ancient structure they quite literally just destroyed and walk off back to town. Once inside the town, Laura begins to plot her world takeover, and once she comes up with a plan, I got the first trophy of the game. This town also had an event going on within it, and we snuck around in a costume chasing after these men in suits, a part of an organization called Trinity. They are basically the evil treasure hunting people and we are the good ones. So it's the entire plot for Uncharted 4 all over again, except with more estrogen involved. But eventually I stealth killed some Trinity soldiers with absolutely no regrets, and then I interrogated the man they had under gunpoint. He then yapped to me and it turns out Trinity found a tomb nearby that needs raiding, seeing as nobody has ever raided it before. And as we all know, Laura loves that shit, so the new goal was to go tomb raiding. Get it? Get it, Tomb Raider? I'm gonna kill myself. Oh my god! I love this game's parkour, by the way, it's great. Also, I'm not gonna lie, this video is probably not gonna go super in depth for this game's story because I kind of have no idea what the hell happened. Seeing as there's over 400 collectibles, I had to grab them pretty much all the time, so this game's playthrough really felt more like I was just grabbing items on the floor rather than playing through a story. It was quite awful, honestly. But Laura ends up finding this tomb she was after, and there was a key inside, which was also glowing because that makes complete sense. Also, Trinity was breaking in at almost the same time, but not quite yet, so Laura had to really hurry up her raiding here, and she decided it was smart to just steal the key and run away with it. What a classic. But that did give us a trophy. We then had to sneak our way through, or just brute force our way through, a bunch of Trinity enemies, and I got a trophy here from getting 3 kills with a pistol in 3 seconds because I am the best gamer alive. But we did run into the Trinity leader like literally right after that, and he took the key from us. Chivalry is dead, I guess. Stealing that key, by the way, allegedly caused the beginning of the end of the world, which is a crazy claim, but seeing as an earthquake and a tsunami occurred moments after Laura yoinked that thing, it's not a totally crazy thing to say, and maybe, just maybe, that dude isn't lying to our face. But yeah, this game then had a full-blown tsunami occur, and Laura is just a great swimmer, which is why we didn't get sucked up and die. I'd sure want to suck up something on Laura. Hey, yo! And once I reached the final building in this section of the game, it then gave me a trophy for making it there. I also watched a child fall to his demise. Don't worry, kid, this world is pretty cruel anyways. But once I was on the roof, we met up with Jonah because he is miraculously here, and that's also our boy's name if you weren't aware. Jonah. Before the video continues, I want to give a huge thanks to Crossout for sponsoring this video. So you might be wondering what Crossout is. Well, it's an online vehicle shooter set in a post-apocalyptic future where you craft unique combat vehicles from the ground up and then use those to engage in high-octane PvP and PvE battles. You can experience a complete free-roam adventure with unique characters, missions, and story in a very Mad Max style setting. You can gain access to thousands of different parts, weapons, and equipment to customize your vehicles, from gaining the trust of the 10 in-game factions scattered throughout it. The combat in Crossout lets you shoot off individual parts of an enemy's vehicle, and that's personally my favorite part about it, as it's just insanely fun to see the enemy's car fall apart right before my eyes. I absolutely love it. And each faction in the game comes with their own style and gameplay, so there's endless room to innovate and experiment with different play styles. Now, SBMM is a big issue nowadays in online gaming, but Crossout features a new version of it called parts-based matchmaking. So no matter your skill level, you would just go against other players with a similar level to yours without needing to have a meta build, as you could say. Crossout is extremely easy to get into because of this. You can craft a new vehicle from scratch in minutes with the in-game editor and then seamlessly take it out for a quick test drive or even head right into battle within their rich post-apocalyptic setting. From vast desert plains to narrow streets and even abandoned cities, Crossout is a high action-packed game full of fun and even better, action. It's available for free right now on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. You can use my link and get a free bonus pack including multiple days of premium account time and 3 unique vehicles with special parts and a unique paint on PC with the PC link below. So huge thanks to Crossout for sponsoring this video, and I hope you all enjoy the rest. So yeah, now it's 2 days later and that plane crash scene happened again. Shout out time travel. But Laura was fine. Her main character aura goes hard right now aside from the limping around that's going on. Anyways, this part of the game then just had us trying to track down our friends and find our gear after the plane crashes, you would assume. And I ended up reaching my first base camp of the game, which acts as a way to save the game in general, but also upgrade skills, change equipment, and fast travel. I got a trophy from buying a skill for the first time as well, which is cool. And this part of the game was actually quite boring, I'm not gonna lie. The collectible grabbing definitely worsened it, but one cool part was that we got to battle some jaguars, and unlike their DEI company, they were pretty badass, and this fight was a lot of fun. Now I know I've been talking a little bit about collectibles, but I actually ended up getting my first of many trophies from them right here by deciphering a monolith, which is just this stone structure that has Minecraft language on it, and Laura allegedly can read it when she feels like it. I also fully upgraded my bow because I had a lot of resources from scavenging like our ancestors once did, and I got a trophy from that. At this point, we had also met up with Jonah again and got our gear, if you couldn't already tell. But we also got jumped by another jaguar, and I'm beginning to think they are after a different kitty cat, if you catch my drift, which is completely understandable. However, nobody can have Laura besides me, so I killed the competition and got another trophy. We also started a campfire because that's a smart thing to do in the wild jungle, and definitely does not attract any dangerous animals like jaguars to kill us in our sleep. But speaking of sleep, Laura had a dream of her as a child, and long story short, she caused mass property damage and her dad died to a gunshot wound. Bro must have seen the collectible list for this game. Hashtag relatable. My next trophy then came from me just grabbing gold on the floor, which sells very highly to merchants because it's gold, you idiot. And while grabbing countless more collectibles, I also completed a collection, which is just like how this game organizes them in the settings, and it serves no purpose at all aside from a trophy. But finally, we reached something of action and got to fight Trinity once more, although it was more of us just stealth killing them and causing mass genocide. Third world country realism goes hard. Speaking of third world countries, we also made it to an actual town finally, and the people were super nice. It's a shame they made a village next to another temple, and I'm gonna have to ruin their lives now. I was also just going around chatting up everyone because I was unaware that side quests don't just get given to you by random people, which I thought that's how it worked. But even with my ignorant beliefs, this did lead to citizens telling me about 5 total POIs for another trophy pop. And in this town, there was also the first merchant of the game, so I bought something from his shop and got another trophy. The story then takes us around this area to another tomb of sorts, and Trinity is everywhere here as well. So I fought them like a Chad, as you can see, and this was actually for a side quest. Upon heading back to the guy that gave me it, I completed said side quest from eliminating the threat, and I got 2 trophies because I'm such a nice person. I also completed 5 challenges here, which is a type of collectible, and typically had us doing a very dumb and useless thing, making it a challenge for me to not delete this trash off my PS5. But I got a trophy, so take that. I also uncovered my 3rd main game crypt, which is a version of a tomb, but it's much shorter in reality. That's exactly what she said to me when she saw my treasure. Anyways, I also went into a challenge tomb in this area, which is another part of this game's trophy requirements. Not for a main story though, hence the challenge aspect. But as you can see, it's pretty serious in here, and I'm actually getting a higher heart rate just watching this right now. But once I finished it, that was my 3rd in the game, and I got another trophy. I then confronted more Trinity people, and I ended up killing a total of 3 of them while they are distracted by Laura's bonkers, so here's that trophy. I also performed a stealth takedown through a mud-covered wall on an enemy right after that for another combat trophy. I then got 2 more combat trophies in this same area because I am a god. The first was from killing 10 enemies while focus is active, which is a perk that slows down time when aiming. and then from performing 20 headshots with the bow because my aim is perfect in every way possible. I then had to solve this puzzle to get into the Temple of Life's inner chamber, which is the temple we are in, by the way, and it's not that hard or complicated, to be honest. I think the only tip you really need is to have eyes and look at what's around you, then solve it. So I did just that and got inside the inner chamber, which was another trophy, because we are getting to the goods now. However, the goods were actually just directions to another tomb or temple, so we then left. How disappointing. So then I just farmed combat trophies to take my anger out in a productive way, and I got my first one right here from performing 5 eagle takedowns on a Trinity goon. I then did the Serpent's Fury 3 times, which is just a chained melee takedown, and here's that trophy. I also simply just killed 3 enemies when they were searching for Laura, which is cool, and I burned 2 enemies at the same time. God, we are a psycho. Why isn't anyone questioning Laura? She's a literal mass murderer, my god. Thankfully though, that was it for the carnage, so then I just went to a base camp and changed her outfit a few times because the other one got some blood on it. During this process, I also got 2 more trophies, which is cool. Laura would then traverse into an abandoned type area of the game, finding a child in need of help. However, we would also get caught by some tribe people and then brought with them to get questioned as to who we were. And once we explained to the leader that we weren't after the treasure for materialistic means like Trinity is, they agreed to welcome us in with open arms, and we entered the hidden city as they call it, or Patititi as the locals call it. But this part of the game actually has a quite fast and interesting story if you were to do it without gathering any collectibles like a normal person. However, if you are me, you are not allowed to do that. The man upstairs likes to grab his belt when I don't finish the games completely. But anyways, the hidden city has a lot of collectibles, like a lot. For reference, the video guide I followed for the hidden city was almost an hour and 40 minutes long, and in comparison to the other areas, which also took a lot of time to do, they were only like 20 to 30 minutes long. This actually ruined the game for me, I'm not gonna lie. But the next trophy I got literally hours later, was just from a retarded side quest. This game. But a few minutes later, I did get a collectible trophy after all of my efforts, and it was from finding underwater treasure, so I can now die at peace. Also, this main story mission in the hidden city led us underground and into these ancient myth people's home, and they are very, very creepy and hard to kill. They also somewhat remind me of my late great grandma Juliet and how she would walk around the family function after 5 p.m. Scary, scary sights. But at one point, this bitch with 1,000 body cock eyes stared me down to my soul and commanded her hoes to chase after me in this cave. It was kind of chaotic, and I really wish Laura stretched or something before this because she was slow as a motherfucker. But once getting past that running away segment, I did finally get another story trophy, which is neat. And I also gathered this new climbing tool that allowed me to climb completely unrealistic angles of walls and roofs for a trophy. And I then pet 5 llamas in the game because they look cool for another story trophy. Nice. And during the main story, I at some point got given this green outfit, which signifies a higher rank among the cult in the hidden city, and I was allowed to kind of traverse freely within them. So some kid asked me to save his friend's dad from being executed, and I was like, aight, cuh. So I went over there and just walked on in, then broke my way out because, you know, I wasn't supposed to be in there. However, that was all it took to save the guy, and he also gave me a knife, which then gave me a trophy, and finishing that side quest in general was also a trophy, so that's cool. We also saved the queen because she got imprisoned at some point, although she looks like a base character woman preset, so I don't know what they really want her for. And it turns out not much because she got shot like a minute later. The psycho life goes crazy in this game so far. But yeah, since she just got shot, that made the air more violent, and a bunch of Trinity people were after us in this very cool courtyard that serves zero purpose aside from just being there. I don't know what the hell I'm yapping about. But right in this area is a perfect place to farm kills and combat trophies, so I did that. The first trophy I got here is from actually escaping the enemy 10 times total in the game during combat. Then I performed a stealth takedown on 25 enemies in the game for another trophy. I also did 10 takedowns while endurance was active, which is another perk skill thingy. And finally, I hunted and killed 10 enemies while perception was active for another combat trophy. We then went to this oil plant that Trinity had and was running. Shout out to the business. But we then just kind of ran around it and killed a bunch of people, destroyed everything, and overall accomplished nothing. Welcome to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, ladies and gentlemen, a game where you do nothing and then the girl complains about it.
I'm making everything wet.
Oh my god!
Anyways, apparently Laura had a eureka moment and figured out where the treasure we are after is. This silver box of shell, I think is what it's called, but it's in San Juan, and I got a trophy once we headed there. This is also the quote-unquote final area of the game, so I did clean up and do quite a few trophies while I could before the open world really began. And the first one was from farming special ammo with checkpoints. Did I have to do this? Definitely not. But did I? You're damn right I did. I also had a glitched equipment trophy, which required you to have 3 equipment total, and I had like 6, but it didn't pop. And this is a well-known bug with the PSN profiles dude even saying so. But all you had to do was restart the game, then buy one piece of equipment and you're chilling. I also then completed my last challenge tomb in the game, which upon reaching the treasure in it, I got 2 trophies as a matter of fact. First for getting all these skills in a skill set, because finishing that unlocked the final skill I needed, and then obviously a trophy for all challenge tombs complete. I had also been doing this thing for the zoologist trophy where you had to collect 20 bugs around the game, and I ended up getting it finally right here, with my trophy level also leveling up to 490. Damn, that's crazy. Oh yeah, and back to the main story, we finally got the silver box of cheese, or whatever they called it, but then the floor broke out from underneath us, which is a huge L, but it was a trophy. That evil guy then showed up and took it because he's a bastard, and we were left to fight his soldiers, as you guessed. But I also took this as one of my last chances to get more combat trophies, and I got one here from poisoning an enemy into attacking his friends 5 times, so here's that. There was then a giant f***ing mudslide that happened because natural disasters followed this bitch like troubled girls follow my dating life around. And I just want you all to ignore the amount of times I fell to my death. It's an insignificant number and attributes to no value in my gaming skills. But after that mess, it ultimately left us going back to Patititi, because this is where the finale of the game occurs. And I got a trophy from being back here in hell. But this actually is the final mission of the game, so I did some quick cleanup before, and I did this side quest from killing some beast for a bald dude, which was fun and a trophy. I also did 8 total side quests in the game for another side quest trophy after, and that was it for now. So I then did initiate the final mission of the game. It had us chasing down into the depths of hell to stop a ritual being done with that dude who keeps on stealing our treasure. And we must stop this because he is about to erase the world and make us start anew. Not a great outcome. But on the way there, we teamed up with those weird ass creatures from earlier, and I got a trophy actually after I became their queen or some shit. I then made it to the ritual location, and it's a boss fight with 2 stages basically. The first stage had you run around him and kill his worshiper helpers, I guess because they were driving more and more power into the guy. Then you had to actually fight the dude himself and stab him with his knife over and over that charged more and more of the sacred power into it instead of in him. Once you basically drain him of his power, the knife is then glowing super bright and we end up absorbing it, which then requires that one bitch to come over and perform a damn tribal exorcism on us to save the world. Those sentences have probably never been uttered by any man before on Earth. You'll love to see it. But yeah, that then ended the game off, and there was another short cutscene showing the characters still alive, rejoicing in their efforts. I then got a few trophies from beating the game, as you would expect. But I was missing one single collectible, as you can see. This is tragic. Turns out it was in the very first part of the game, which is why. And it was a chest which you also could not open until later on in the game anyways, so that's the reason behind me missing it. But once I did open the little bitch, it gave me 3 trophies, so maybe he wasn't so bad after all. I then cleaned up 2 more trophies left before beginning the final stage of this game. And the first one was from shooting a chicken with a flare. Now that's some cock action right there. And secondly, it was from defeating 5 legendary animals. And I have no clue what consists of legendary status because I got this after beating a normal ass jaguar, so that's awesome, even though I feel like that's not right. Anyways, it's now time for stage 3, the Deadly Obsession playthrough, which is the hardest difficulty. And spoiler alert, it's not even hard, at least in terms of enemies. The enemies are not crazy hard to kill. They don't do insane damage, and it's actually weird how average they are. But the real challenge comes with the game not giving you any direction, parkour assistance, checkpoints, and overall just sucking shit. My big complaint with this is that the parkour in this game is not good by any means, and multiple times I would fall to my death because the girl just would not latch onto a wall, swing the axe at a ceiling, and dumb shit like that, leading me to die and then go back to my last checkpoint, which was sometimes upwards of an hour behind in progress. And that's because the only way to get a checkpoint in this game is from setting up camp at a base camp, and they even make you pay for it, god damn it. Overall, this playthrough on hard difficulty is not hard, it's just f***ing stupid, and it really soured my view of this game a lot. So yeah, I kind of hate this game now. I mean, it's just bad, like it really is. The parkour sucks, you cannot convince me it doesn't. I watched it literally fall apart right before my eyes, but I did beat this eventually, even with hating every second of it. So here is those 3 difficulty trophies popping along with the platinum trophy pop, and that was the Shadow of the Tomb Raider platinum trophy experience. I hate this game. 2 out of 10. Anyways, before the video ends, I want to say another huge thanks to Crossout for making this video possible. It's an absolutely adrenaline-inducing game, and I highly recommend it. Again, it's free on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. You can use my link in the description below for a free bonus pack, including multiple days of premium account time, and 3 unique vehicles with special parts and a unique paint on PC with the PC link below as well. So thanks again to Crossout for sponsoring this video, and thank you all for watching.